Hello and welcome to our 2025 mid-year update. I'm Lee Peacock and I have the pleasure of serving as your national president. My first 6 months serving as president has been a very exciting time. There have been challenges and a bit of a learning curve, but I have a very dedicated board and executive committee and staff that have made the transition easy and rewarding. As we begin our recap, I am so very excited to announce that we ended 2024 budget year in the black. And I would like to extend a congratulations to Karen Hamilton and her board for their work in securing our future. It is obviously paying off. In addition, I'm very pleased to announce that we have a balanced budget for 2025. To maintain a sound financial position, continue to offer educational opportunities to our members, and to avoid a large increase such as we experienced in 2024, we are anticipating a dues increase in 2027. The amount has yet to be determined. We are so very fortunate that we have very generous donors. Since the beginning of 2025, we have received over 16,000 in donations. We currently have 22 active members of the Crown Jewels campaign, and we received a bequest of over 24,000 from the Barbara Habercorn Trust. Our dues do not fully cover our expenses. Have you ever considered donating to EGA? It is tax deductible as we are a 501c3 not-for-profit. Please keep EGA in mind when you are determining your charitable giving. During our mid-year meeting, we welcome 4 new regional directors to the board of directors. Laurel Knapp from the Greater Pacific region, Beth Lindsay from the New England region, Linda Geddes from the Pacific Southwestern region, and Vicki Bridges from the Rocky Mountain region. We're also saying goodbye to 2 retiring region directors, Deborah Powell, the Heartland region, and Judith McGraw, South Central region. Deborah and Judy, we thank you very much for your service on the National Board of Directors and in your regions. It is a big job and we appreciate all you have done. Today we will be hearing reports from Vice President Trudy Pohawpatchoko, Director of Bylaws Vicki Swerdlow, Director of Education Deb Berger, Secretary Christene Thurston, Director of Membership and Marketing Ina Gibson, Treasurer Sherri Hagar, and Executive Director Brad Cape. Before we begin the reports, Trudy will introduce the members of the Board of the Directors representing the regions.
Thank you, Lee. I'm so delighted to introduce your region directors to you. I'm going to go through these alphabetically by their region. So the first one is Carolinas region with Gail Smith. Next, we have Great Lakes region with Sue Kohler. After that is the Greater Pacific region with Laurel Knapp.
Hello.
And then Heartland region with Deb Powell. I believe she had a conflict for our recording today. And we have the Metropolitan region with Maria Hall. And the Mid-Atlantic region with Donna Pence.
Joy to all.
New England region with Beth Lindsay.
Hi, everybody.
The Pacific Southwestern region with Linda Geddes.
Hi.
Rocky Mountain region with Vicki Bridges. South Central region with Judy McGraw.
Hi.
Sun region with Teresa Brewer.
Hi, everyone.
And lastly, but not least, is Tennessee Valley region with Marjorie Sink.
Hi.
For the time period that we have this mid-year report on, which was August through March, I was involved in 4 standing committees and 3 ad hoc committees. So I'm going to give you a brief update on what we did for those few months. So the 2 standing committees that I chair are the Personnel Committee and the Regions Committee. The Personnel Committee met 3 times in that time frame. We met in August, in December and in March. And this last time in March, we reviewed some of the recommendations from Brad for changes to the policies and procedures. And we liked what he's recommended, and we're waiting for the final version to come out so that we can send that out for approval. On the Regions Committee, we continued our monthly calls that we've been having, where we share information of problems and victories that the different regions have had, what communication tools they're using, how their seminars are going, website updates, different things that different regions are trying. It's a very interactive time that we have. And then we also held our semi-annual committee meeting in March over the board meeting weekend. And we did update the region report to try and streamline what we were reporting to the board on, with the 3 purposes of a region of leadership, education, and communication. The ad hoc committees that I participated on are the from the last one, from Securing Our Future, which is the Structure Committee. We did get the checklist completed for converting a chapter to a satellite, which was a long time coming. I'm pleased to say that that is now out on the EGA website under Tools for Chapters and Tools for Regions. And we beta tested it, and we've used it a couple more times. So it's out there ready for any of the chapters that need help with that. We have streamlined the region roles descriptions and sent those out for review. And we're working on streamlining suggestions for chapter roles descriptions. One of the other recommendations from the Structure Committee was to look at a new property for the headquarters. And I think Brad is going to talk about that more in his report. And then we also reviewed a proposal for a virtual community with the Regions Committee in November and the board in March. And that still has some additional work and questions on it. Seminar Committee. This one is busy. So they have been busy rewriting the guidelines to make sure that they've gotten all the updates in that they've worked through on the last couple seminars if things have changed. So they got section 1 and section 2 rewritten and approved. They're working on section 3 and financial. I don't remember what number financial is. So they've worked on that and gotten that done. And then we've had the rollover. So the National Seminar Committee has a new position roll on almost every year. So this year, Elizabeth Slomba was rolled on last year. She did a year of training, and this year she becomes the full-time registrar. And then Joyce Furry-Sievers took over from the previous treasurer, and she is ready to start her training year with the next one that we're waiting on the nominating committee. So if you're interested in being the treasurer for the National Seminar Committee, please reach out to me or the nominating committee. They are actively looking for that position. And then Gay Smith was approved as the next, as the deputy director. She will take over from Lori Welker, I believe, in 27. And then we got the hotels and contracts signed for seminar 26 and 27. So we've got plans in place for the next 2 years. 2024 was a wonderful experience that we had in Atlanta with preserving needle art. This is the summary from Lynette Maton, who was the seminar chair. She did an excellent job along with her entire team that she had. We had 392 registrants plus the faculty. It was a very well attended seminar. We had the first Stitch in Time, inaugural Stitch in Time. We had the inaugural pop-up shops that everything went really well at. The seminar hotel gave us a credit for some room nights, which helped with our bottom line. So at the end of the day, after we got all of the virtual classes completed, We ended up with a overall profit of about 88,000 that was split between National and Tennessee Valley. Yes, Tennessee Valley. So it was a lot of fun. 2025 is coming up at the end of this year in November in Dallas, a needlework fair. They are busy getting prepared and making sure everything is ready for everyone. Registrations were due, final payments were due in March. So registration is still open until August. If you've decided that you can come join us in November, please go out to Seminar Central and register. We have Sampler U, which is new this year. It's going to be very exciting. We're continuing with Stitch in Time and the Night Owls and the pop-up shops. So lots of fun times. Great teachers that they've arranged for us. So we're looking forward to that. 26 and 27, the hotel contracts. So 26 is going to be in Orlando at the Hyatt, and it's called A Wish Upon a Stitch. They have their logo approved. I think we've had a couple ads in Needle Arts, so you could see what the logo looks like. They had their first full committee kickoff in January and have almost all of their positions filled. So they are on track to move forward. And Deb Talley is the seminar chair. And then 2027 just got their logo approved. It's really cool. I got a preview of it. So it's going to be very nice. And that is going to be at the Lowe's Ventana in Tucson. It's a very nice hotel. I saw pictures of it. So we're looking forward to 2027 and what that seminar team is going to put together for us. Pam Brummett is the seminar chair for that one out of Pacific Southwestern region. And lastly, my last ad hoc committee is the national exhibit. So we still have the virtual exhibit is available on the website for you to go look at those beautiful pieces that everybody submitted for the last one. The EC did pass a motion in December to approve moving forward with the 23rd national exhibit. And then at the March board meeting, the board approved Cheryl Christian to be the chair of the 23rd national exhibit. So I'm sure Cheryl is working with the National Nominating Committee to find people to fill her committee. If you're interested in working on that, it was a fun committee to work on. I got to work on it last time. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to Cheryl. And I think that is all of my slides and my information. If you have any questions for me, I forgot to put it on my slide. I apologize. You can contact me at vp@egausa.org. And I would be happy to answer your questions. I am going to turn the meeting over to Sherri Hagar, the EGA treasurer, for her to give you her update.
Thank you, Trudy. I'm pleased to have some good financial news to share with you this year. We finished the year 2024 with a preliminary net profit. I'm showing here 4 years comparison of profit and loss. This is after adjusting for unrealized gains on investments. And as you can see, we're definitely going in the right direction. Do note that the 2024 profit is preliminary. A full audit of our books is underway by an outside accounting firm, and I'm not expecting any major adjustments as a result. It has been an ongoing effort to increase revenues and reduce expenses, and that effort will be continuing. Another ongoing effort has been to balance the budget. Here is a 4-year comparison of our working budgets that shows the results of these efforts. We are working with a balanced budget for the year 2025. We are projecting a net profit of $972.62, but that's a substantial increase over the projected losses of the prior years. A balanced budget is when projected income exceeds projected expenses. A project I'm undertaking this year is to look at the chapter region financial guidelines. These guidelines are available on the EGI website or document downloads. I'm planning on updating the chapter region financial guidelines this year since our dues collection process has changed. I'll also be looking to incorporate any other updates that are needed. If any chapter or region treasurer has questions or suggestions concerning these guidelines, please feel free to contact me. My email is treasurer@egausa.org. And now let me introduce Christene Thurston, our secretary.
Thanks, Sherri. Hi, everyone. As the board secretary, my main duties include taking minutes of all of the meetings, the board meeting minutes, the executive committee meetings, finance committee, personnel committee, etc. And when we have our mid-year and annual meetings, I do prepare the packets of information for everyone to share during those meetings. I also keep a calendar for the executive committee, shows the different dates that we need to be aware of for our meetings and deadlines for Needle Arts Magazine, etc. And in order to ensure that the business of EGA is conducted in a timely manner, I oversee the processing of any between sessions motions that need to be addressed. These are decisions that need to be made at times when we're not meeting. So it's between the mid-year meeting and the annual meetings. And last year in 2024, there were a total of 16 between sessions motions that the board addressed. If you're interested in reading any of the board meeting minutes, you can find them on the EGA website. Log in, and under members only, you'll see member documents and document downloads. And then on the left side, there is a drop-down box. You can search for EGA Business and then select whichever meeting minutes you wanted to review. If you don't want to go to the website, you can read a summary of the board meeting minutes in Needle Arts Magazine. And for this meeting here in March, you'll have to wait until September to read that summary because the deadline for the June issue of Needle Arts was February 1st, which was about 6 weeks before our meeting was conducted. If you would like to reach me for anything, I am secretary@egausa.org. Thank you. And now we're going to hear from our Director of Education, Deb Berger.
Thank you, Christene. As she said, I am your Director of Education. I'd like to start my report by saying I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of the volunteers working hard in the education department to fulfill EGA's mission of providing quality classes and lecture opportunities to you, our members. Each and every one of our volunteers are valuable team members, and I thank them. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us through the form on the EGA website and click on Education. We are here to help you. There are a few vacancies in the department, and I'd like to encourage our members to think about joining us as a valuable volunteer to further our education mission. You can contact me through the EGA website under Education. Okay, so our my first slide is the Appraiser Certification Program. It is chaired by Margaret Aspathia Taylor. As you can see, we're currently working on a proposal to combine the appraiser, judging, and teacher certification programs to begin in 2026. Our goal is to provide a more comprehensive retreat-style weekend for members to take classes that will be appropriate to become certified in the field of their choice. There will be more news as we get further along in this process. Judges certification program is Judy Geroy. She is also, not only is she going to be the judge at the Dallas exhibit or the Dallas seminar, she has also volunteered to be the boots on the ground for the exhibit in November. She is also the judge for the pieces that are submitted. She has secured 2 additional judges for the duties of judging the pieces that will be submitted. She's also working hard to streamline the exhibit process with our new exhibit chair, Sheila Dixon. Slide 3, please. Master Craftsman is Catherine Jordan. And as you can see on the slide, there are 8 current programs. The statistics are listed here on the slides, and I think that might be the next slide. Yep. Catherine's work with her team continues to be very successful. She recently welcomed Gina Maria Klein-Martin as the Master Craftsman Surface Program Chair. Our other Master Craftsman Chairmen are Beading Gwen Nelson, Canvas Gail Stafford, Color Helen Gottschalk, Counted Thread Carol Lynn Stratton, Crewel Carol Peo Courier, Design Catherine Jordan, Silk and Metal Margaret Kinsey, Surface our new person Gina Maria Klein-Martin, and the MC coordinator is Catherine Jordan. Technical Excellence is chaired by Linda Dean. Counted program has 3 new candidates, and Crewel has gained 2 new candidates. Canvas program is being developed for 2026. Next slide. Explorations, a step beyond. This is a program that is replacing the extended study program, as you can see from the slide. We're very proud of this program. The team working on this is also the team for the lecture series. They've put a lot of work into this. The goal, as you can see, is to provide 1 to 2 events per calendar year that would be technique-oriented or an examination program of a particular ethnic style of embroidery. We are also looking at either virtual or in-person or some sort of hybrid type experience. Some of our virtual suggestions are listed on this slide. We have already talked with Catherine Dugood regarding an in-person experience at Graves Mountain Farms and Lodges in Syria, Virginia, for a color explorations retreat style weekend. We are excited to implement this new program. Next slide. Group correspondence courses is chaired by Judy Herrick. As you can see, this program is progressing along with 32 active GCCs and 4 in development. Judy has recently sent an advertisement to the NETA Teachers, National Embroidery Teachers Association, for proposals for the GCC program. Next slide. Individual correspondence course is chaired by Helene Osipov. Hopefully I said that correctly. Again, the stats are listed here on the slides. I don't need to go through them with you. You can see them. Work continues on streamlining enrollment and completions for this program. Next. And Jill Nadeau is our chair for the online studio. These are all of the 2024 classes that were offered, and she is working well into 2025. Kathleen Weston is the chair of the virtual education courses, and she is also working well. 2024, she didn't give me a lot of information on that, so I'm just going to say that it was successful. She is working hard on 25, 26, and 27, as you can see here. And virtual lecture series, as I said before, is Heather Keiko Long. She is the chair, and her, along with Donna Pence and Jana Bass, are doing both this particular series as well as the exploration series, and they're working very hard to get all of this streamlined and get it done. Next. There are some of the stats for what we've done in 24. Mary Bangs was the chair of the Petite Projects, and she worked really hard on the 2024 since August on the 2024 projects. She unfortunately has had to resign. And we are looking for someone to fulfill that position. If you are interested, please go to the EGA website and click on education and send me a quick email and contact information, and we'll sit down and talk about it. Next. Karen is working hard on scholarships. We have found someone for the Mary Dick Diggs Scholarship. I have to say that slow. And we've also done the Legacy Scholarship. Next up is, we did have, well, this is 2024. We're working on 2025. We did have some applicants for 2025 for the Legacy Scholarship. And next up is the Jenny Morrow Memorial Scholarship. These are some of the winners that happened in 2024. And as I said, this is 2025, what we're doing now. Sheila Dixon is the chair of the education exhibit. She has worked very hard on the last half of 2024 and has gone into this position full swing for 2025 plans. As you can see from the slides, the Bobby Pilling Award is moving ahead, and she is in touch with Joey Cobb as well as the Dallas exhibit liaison. Thank you very much for supporting the education department. We do have some vacancies available. If you are interested in any of them, please contact me at education@egausa.org. And now I'd like to introduce Ina Gibson, our Director of Membership and Marketing. Take it away.
Thank you, Deb. Greetings from San Diego, California. I'm going to highlight some of the activities my team and I have been working on and monitoring over the past year. These include initiatives to recruit new members and create stronger connections, especially with young adults and members at large, and all those members who may feel isolated or disenfranchised. We also are working on increasing our social media presence. As this table shows, year-end membership in 2024 declined somewhat. Overall, it was about 5.5%. Chapter memberships again showed an increase over the prior year, while members at large declined 1.2%. The largest percentage increase occurred in the youth YA category, and that was largely due to the success of the EGA at Virginia Tech chapter. In support of chapter recruitment and retention, we continued the webinar series, Growing Your Chapter. These videos cover topics in support of chapters' efforts in growing their chapters. The topics of episodes in 2024 were recruiting strategies, online special interest groups, creating chapter websites, online renewal process instructions, setting up and using a Facebook page for chapters, using Canva, and creating a chapter Instagram page. We continued the online special interest groups, known as SIGs, to encourage members and non-members to connect with others who share an interest in particular needlework techniques. Currently, EGA hosts the following SIGs: beading, metal threads, silk, metal, and surface embroidery, and coming this month, in fact, we just had our first meeting, a counted thread special interest group, and we are about to launch a second new SIG in dimensional embroidery. So now let's talk about our marketing programs. In the last year, we have continued to partner with Stitchcraft Marketing to provide us with social media marketing pieces, which promote EGA's education offerings, lecture series, and items to further EGA's mission. In 2024, Stitchcraft created monthly blog posts on a variety of needlework topics, a series about needlework techniques from around the world that covered such techniques as Hardinger, German Schwamm, Kolcha, Richelieu, and Tatrice. They also produced pieces to introduce teachers and their designs, often to encourage members to explore current offerings in group correspondence courses or lightning rounds. They also prepared YouTube shorts. These are short videos designed to highlight EGA offerings such as seminar group correspondence courses. Topics have included benefits to EGA members, information on seminar and workshops, and group correspondence courses versus individual correspondence courses, comparing them to lightning rounds. Do you know the difference between these? If not, be sure to check out these videos. They also solicit free designs from teachers outside the EGA universe in order to provide something fresh for our members and to encourage new members to explore. We also continue to sponsor a monthly fiber talk with Gary Parr, as well as some print and virtual ads. In addition to the website, EGA National maintains a social media presence on 3 major platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. They are well followed and continue to grow in interest. I do want to call your attention to one special social media presence, the EGA Stitch Along Facebook page. It was created 7 years ago to encourage both EGA members and non-members to participate and get more involved. There are 3 administrators who are all volunteers, and they post a monthly free project and interesting and engaging posts about daily or weekly holidays, such as National Smile Day, Groundhog Day, and as illustrated here, National Crayon Day. These dedicated administrators create 50 to 60 posts per month. This page continues to grow in interest and currently has almost 9,000 members. So what's ahead? Marge Kelly, Carol Overton, and I implemented a pilot program creating a virtual community for members at large. Beginning with a very successful virtual Through the Needle Eyes tour, they have hosted 5 Zoom gatherings since the beginning of 2025. Topics have included a New Year's Stitch-In, a lecture from Celeste Celisani, and this month, headquarters staff will be the guest to explain how to make the most out of EGA resources and offer a tour of the website and the online renewal process. We have also set up a Facebook page for members at large to help them feel more connected. The membership and marketing team is working with headquarters to expand EGA's social media presence to such platforms as Reddit and TikTok and online hand embroidery needlework communities. We are developing a partnership between colleges and universities that will help chapters recruit and to recruit potential new members in this age group. We are expanding our Growing Your Connection series, which was formerly called Growing Your Chapter, and we are expanding our special interest group offerings. As I meet with needleworkers of all ages, in all stages, and in all locations, there is one word that keeps coming up again and again, and that's connection. It seems to be important to all of us. We're all looking for it. And to that end, I'd encourage you all to make use of all available resources. Be an explorer. Deepen your connection to EGA and others who share your passion for needle arts. In the words of my predecessor, Wendy Lynn, be ever kind. Please be patient and positive with your leaders, who are all volunteers and do this for the love of this organization and the love of needle art. But also be kind and welcoming to members old and new. Most of all, have fun and approach all of this with joy and creativity. Thank you all for watching and for your participation in EGA. Please don't hesitate to contact me about anything. I always welcome your thoughts. I am Ina Gibson, Director of Membership and Marketing. And now I'd like to introduce my good friend, Vicki Swerdlow, Director of Bylaws.
Thank you, Ina. That was a very uplifting note. I'll try not to drag it down with the dribs and the drabs of how we take care of bylaws. I'd like to speak to you briefly today about what the charge is for the Director of Bylaws, what's been taking place, and what we're looking forward to. As the title might suggest, I'm responsible for the bylaws. That would be at the national, region, and chapter levels. And so when you see something come out about an update for bylaws, you can know that I'm behind it. In addition, I'm responsible for making sure that our policies, procedures, and other documents are kept up to date, that parliamentary procedure is followed in national meetings, and that I'm available to answer any questions that anybody in EGA might have about any of these matters. Since the annual meeting last September, we have been working on decennial updates for the Pacific Southwestern region. Once every 10 years, the chapters in a particular region are identified to update their chapter bylaws. It's our way of making sure that those documents, which are key legal documents, stay up to date with what's happening both in the industry in general and on the legal landscape. For the decennial updates, in 2024, we were focusing on the Pacific Southwestern region. 10 out of 17 are complete. A typo on the slide, 4 are underway. And for 2025, we'll be working with the members of the Rocky Mountain region to do their decennial updates. And I must make a particular call out and send thanks to Susan Andrews. Sue Andrews is the chair of the Chapter Region Bylaws Review Committee, and she is an amazing volunteer. In addition to these decennial updates, 2 regions and 7 chapters chose to do additional updates or amendments to their bylaws. There are many policies and procedures, P&Ps, that I could speak to, but I would like to echo what Trudy Pohawpatchoko spoke of earlier, the update of the documents related to satellites. If you are a chapter that is particularly interested in looking at these options, please take a look online for the Ps and Ps related to satellites. During this period also, of course, I responded to different questions from the field. And the ones that are most interesting are not those really that are talking about the legal aspects, but those that are talking about how do you run a chapter? How do you make sure that you stay within your legal boundaries, but also meet the needs of your members? If those are the sorts of questions that you'd like to discuss with somebody, please contact me. Looking ahead, in the next half year between now and the seminar in Dallas, I will continue to look at the national bylaws to see if there are any needed updates. This is one of the charges, responsibilities of my job. At this point in time, we are not anticipating any. As mentioned, we'll keep working with Rocky Mountain region on their decennial updates, and I have an ongoing project to continue to update those policies and procedures. In talking with the executive committee, we have decided to focus on what is needed now. There are many, many documents, and you've heard some of them mentioned. You've heard Sherri Hagar talk about the updates that she's planning to the region and chapter financial guidelines, for example. It's most important that the documentation we have is up to date, serves the needs of the members at large, and particularly the leadership, those who are in leadership at the chapter or the region level. And the leaders of whom I'm thinking may be elected leaders, they may also be appointed leaders, or they may simply be natural grassroots leaders, people who, even if they're not carrying a title, are stepping forward and doing the work of EGA. So if you have more questions, again, please be in touch. I am at bylaws@egausa.org. Thank you. And I'd like now to introduce Brad Cape, the Executive Director of EGA.
Thank you, Vicki, and hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Before I get into my report, I want to acknowledge the rest of the team at EGA headquarters who you see on the slide. None of our accomplishments will be possible without Rayanne, Tanya, and Lily. I want to update you on headquarters relocation. In August of 2024, the board of directors decided to move EGA headquarters to a 2,500 square foot office at 501 Baxter Avenue in Louisville. The move took place in early October, and the 5-year lease of the space officially began on October 15th. In conjunction with the move, staff began a thorough review of all paper files housed at headquarters, purged reams of unnecessary or redundant items, and made plans for secure digital storage of remaining documents. This work is ongoing. Internal procedures for the handling of new documents was also implemented, leveraging technology wherever feasible. For instance, paper invoices that arrive by mail are now scanned and stored securely within EGA's accounting software rather than kept in boxes for years. The relocation provided a prime opportunity for a complete inventory of the lending library. As the books were shelved in their new home, duplicate titles and books on topics other than embroidery were set aside and will be sold or donated depending on value. Book sales are set to begin on Amazon in the coming weeks. Lending's library service was unavailable from October through December as we unpacked, and shelved and unshelved books until the first week of January. And we saw a surge actually in utilization of the library following it coming back online, and we've sent out more than 70 titles this year already, which is more than some years in total in the past. So we're excited about that. The permanent collection gained some much needed space in the move, and there's now ample room to store and work with these items. This will make it much easier for staff to share the collection both online and in person when those opportunities arise. So look for more on that very soon. Now we to move on. We had a few member questions about the move, so I'd like to move on to those now and share them with you. From Ellen Yunker of the Louisville chapter. She says, I am concerned about the new headquarters being closed to the public, which is directly counter to EGA's mission, as well as to our commitment to accessibility and openness. Particularly for the Louisville chapter, of course, as we are lucky enough to have headquarters to share with interested people. But I believe all EGA members would vote to keep headquarters open to the public. Please reconsider the decision, which, by the way, we could find no record of in board minutes when we searched. Thank you for that, Ellen. I can certainly understand being disappointed in this change, especially for those of us here in Louisville. The gallery was one of the main aspects that drew me to working at EGA in 2007. However, as membership declined and visitors to headquarters declined, it became more and more difficult to justify the expense of a gallery that very few EGA members actually saw any benefit from. As you know, we had a significant dues increase in 2024. That, along with common sense cuts elsewhere in the budget, like this change at headquarters, made 2024 the first year since the pandemic that we did not spend more than we brought in. This move will save EGA in the neighborhood of $100,000 over the next 5 years. We are reaching a sustainable financial baseline so that we can intelligently and deliberately plan for the future. And there's nothing to say that that future may not include a physical gallery space again. You can find the vote approving the move to the new location in the minutes of the Board of Directors meeting from August of 2024. Those are on the EGA website, and if you have any difficulty finding them, I'm happy to email them directly to you. Just let me know. The next question is from Linda Reed, Louisville chapter. I'm concerned about the new headquarters location and its limited access for visitors, EGA members, and also anyone with physical limitations. We used the past location as a wonderful resource to showcase EGA and the value of membership. The exhibits were amazing, and the Christmas trees with ornaments were very special. If growing our membership is a priority, how can these be continued in the new space? Thank you, Linda, and I hope that my previous answer addressed some of those questions. And I have to say, I'm not sure that I followed the logic of your last question, and I'm sorry we don't have the benefit of speaking with each other directly in a forum like this. But EGA had a gallery in Louisville for more than 40 years. And during those same 40 years, we saw membership decline by about 15,000. So I just don't see the correlation between maintenance of a public gallery space and growing membership. We have learned both through lived experience and surveying members that fostering strong online communities and reaching out to people where they are will be more effective ways of bringing people into EGA. We are also developing more resources for chapters for recruiting and retaining members, as you heard from Ina. And through the efforts of securing our future teams, we are starting to see progress. So far in 2025, we have seen net gains in membership each month of this year, and we're looking for that to continue. Next question is from Margaret Mims of the Louisville chapter. Margaret writes, I was appalled that you decided to move the EGA headquarters and chose a site that was not handicapped accessible. In addition, you basically closed the office, rendering it inaccessible to the EGA members, as well as removing display space to showcase the amazing things EGA members are producing. Is your goal to replicate ANG with an office only? Seems short-sighted to me if you are wanting to grow your organization at a time when many of your members are aging out. Our goal is to bring operations into alignment with the current needs and finances of the organization. I believe ANG's administration is handled by a management company, and it is not EGA's intention to adopt that model. And again, we do not see any evidence of the maintenance of a public gallery space as an antidote to declining membership numbers. Now move on and give you a few updates on the online membership renewal process and electronic payments. Beginning in January 2024, the process for collecting member dues was shifted so that dues are being collected by national and the appropriate amounts are subsequently paid out to the chapters and regions. Staff worked throughout the year to fine-tune this process to make it as easy and efficient as possible for all stakeholders. By the end of the year, all chapters and regions were receiving dues payments via ACH transfer for all transactions each month by the 15th of the following month. Feedback on the process from chapters and region has been vital, and improvements will continue to be made over the course of the next year. The last major update was chapter officer access to full real-time listings of members directly through the EGA website without the need to contact headquarters. That was rolled out in March. In mid-April, the procedure for life members to pay their chapter and region dues online was distributed. The next big challenge will be to bring portal membership processing online through national, and we hope to have a process in place later this year. For the time being, portal members will continue to renew with their chapters directly. And finally, we have one last member submitted question from Sherri Seville of the Yellow Rose chapter. She asks, when will the EGA website be more user-friendly? Thank you for that, Sherri. You know, we asked the EGA website to do a lot of different things for a lot of different people, all of whom expect things to work differently and may define user-friendliness differently. Broadly speaking, the website is more user-friendly today than it was a year ago. And a year from now, it will likely be more user-friendly than it is today. We are constantly responding to feedback and implementing change where we can. And to best address the issues that you don't find user-friendly, please share them by email with Rand Duran at rduran@egausa.org. It would also be very helpful to include an example of a website that you think does that particular thing well, so we can learn from others. But I thank you for the question, Sherri, and everyone who wrote in, and I thank everyone for their time today. Thank you so much.